A very warm welcome to IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritwika Gupta. India's retail industry is experiencing significant growth potential driving the country's economy. With rising disposable incomes and shifting consumer preferences, particularly among the growing middle class and younger generations, the industry is poised for expansion. Speaking about this and more, I'll be in conversation tonight with Anand Ramanathan, partner and consumer industry leader consulting Deloitte India. And in the second segment, I'll be in conversation with Rakesh Malhotra, founder Livpure, a pioneer in manufacturing and supplying wellness-driven products. Thank you so much, Anand, for joining us today. So, to begin with, if you could briefly give us an overview of the retail industry in India, where do we stand in terms of growth prospects and opportunities?
Sure, Ritwika. I think retail in India is extremely exciting, expected to grow about 2x from current levels to 2030. So it's about 1 trillion now, 930 USD billion to be precise, expected to reach about 2 trillion by 2030. And in terms of segments, pretty much every segment is growing very aggressively. From food to durables to electronics to gems and jewelry to health and wellness, many of these categories are expected to grow 2 to 3 times till 2030. And we're also going to see a growth in the luxury segment, which is expected to grow about 4x. While the overall retail industry goes about 10% CAGR, luxury is expected to grow at about 20% CAGR. Most of this growth will continue to come from traditional trade, right? It will still be about 2/3 of the entire retail market, but obviously e-commerce and modern trade will grow much faster, and at some point e-commerce will become larger than modern trade in the next 4 to 5 years. And we will see that by 2030, e-commerce and online retail will be about 325 billion USD, while modern trade will be about 230 billion USD, right? So it's about 11% to 12% for modern trade to about 16 to 17% for e-commerce, right, in terms of overall market share within retail.
So Anand, Deloitte's Future of Retail Report 2023 talks about how rising disposable incomes, shifting consumer preferences, and the integration of technology are transforming the retail landscape. Let's first try and understand the changing consumer preference. What does today's consumer want from retail brands? What are their preferences, and how does an increase in disposable income impact their choices? Is there a noticeable surge in demand for luxury consumption in India?
Sure, Ritwika. So in terms of consumer trends, some of the key trends are around technology in retail. So about 90% of consumers who were surveyed wanted contactless shopping. So that shows the need for having a good model with virtual retail also as options. The second big trend that we are seeing is from a convenience standpoint. We've been tracking these numbers for a long time, and what we've seen is that for the first time, we've had convenience as a factor rank higher than price. If I look at the factors which influence food and grocery retail, convenience was at about 32%, while price was at about 29%. So what this shows is that with quick commerce being enabled, with all of this D2C consumption which happened during the pandemic, a lot of it is here to stay, and we will see that quick commerce especially is expected to grow about 20x from current levels to about 40 billion USD in 2030. The other aspect around e-commerce is also rise in new segments, right? Like social commerce, live commerce. These are all areas where China really grew in the past few years. And if you look at China, it's about 13 odd years ahead of us when it comes to e-commerce size. And a lot of their growth came from some of these new segments. So we will see a lot of growth in the D2C segment also, depending on the age profile of consumers. What we've also seen is that the millennials and the Gen Zs, about 3/4 of them have either changed their brand or are willing to change their brand when it comes to sustainability. So there is going to be that much more emphasis on sustainability in retail. And finally, if we look at luxury, which was the question that you asked, like I said, luxury is expected to grow a lot faster, almost double the pace of what retail is growing at. And a lot of this growth is because of consumption from millennials and Gen Z, who again have a predisposition to consume luxury goods. And hence we will see that luxury will again go through e-commerce into tier 2, tier 3 cities, and a lot of growth will also come from there.
You know, coming to technology, if you could also tell us how technologies like AR, VR, IoT and storytelling techniques are being utilized to really enhance customer experience in both online and offline retail environments. What do businesses in the retail industry, the traditional mom and pop stores, need to keep in mind when leveraging technology?
Sure. So technology is going to play a very important role. Like I said, it's not about physical versus virtual. It's about physical and virtual combining very effectively to provide a seamless experience to the consumer. And hence, technology will help us understand who the consumer is. That's where most of the journey starts, right? In terms of knowing who your customer is when they come into the store. And a lot of data can be made available, right? And that's where analytics can play a role to firstly understand what past purchase behavior has been and what are the other demographic characteristics of the customer, which then is put together to build predictive models, right? So these are like recommendation engines which will tell the salesperson at the store what the consumer wants and who the consumer is and what has he bought in the past and what is he likely to buy, right? And hence knowing your customer is one big part of where technology can play a big role. A smart store will help understand who the consumer is when they walk in and to personalize and customize the entire sales process to their needs and their requirements, right? So these are all going to be areas where we will see investment from technology, and it is going to make retail experience that much more exciting and that much more integrated and seamless between the physical and the virtual.
What do you think are the key pressing challenges faced by businesses in the retail sector today, Anand?
From a challenges standpoint, I think something that is really underestimated is the effort that is required to make all of this change happen, right? So while strategy might be well articulated, the technology stack might be well designed, what we have seen is that implementation is not as easy as it sounds. It is very important for both employees as well as stakeholders. It could be suppliers, it could even be consumers. They all need to change the way they consume, right? So existing ways of working needs to change, and hence driving adoption of all of this technology is a big challenge. Driving awareness is another big challenge. So a lot of investment needs to go in managing this change, right? And I think that is the single biggest challenge when it comes to adoption of new technology for some of these exciting things to happen in retail. The second, like I said, is the path to profitability, right? Retail has narrow margins, and hence both offline retail as well as online retail, how is it that they can become more profitable, right? So private labels is one way by which they can look at enhancing their gross margins. Second is, can you make the consumer aware of your proposition through more effective marketing, right? And hence there is a lot of marketing automation that is possible now through automating the way you run your campaigns, the ROI from your campaigns, how it is measured, even simple things like trade promotion spend. You can use analytics now to look at how effective the trade promotion spend is, and hence all of this marketing money, whether it's above the line or below the line, how do you get the best ROI from it will also determine how successful at least the path to profitability is, and also the path from customer acquisition to better customer retention, right? So can you use analytics in a meaningful way for you to understand consumer behavior, your existing customers, and then use that information to sell more effectively and efficiently. And finally, the last challenge is, like always, it is the entire back end and the fulfillment part of retail, right? If I just spoke of quick commerce, for example. Now, obviously, the costs of quick commerce need to justify the returns that you get, right? And hence, how is it that you build a supply chain which is agile, which is also digitally aware, right? Can you use information to understand what your consumer wants and then align all of your back end back-end infrastructure to the needs of your consumer, right? And this goes from inventory management to better planning to better forecasting. A lot of this can be managed through a digital supply chain, and hence how effectively technology is used to manage the supply chain is the last and final challenge, which is critical for retailers.
You know, the theme for our show this season is Ideas for New India. Tell us, what is that one big idea that you think will have a profound impact on India's retail sector?
So when we say ESG, it is very important to look at this entire aspect of sustainability in a holistic manner, right? It touches pretty much every part of the business, right from the suppliers you choose, the way you source your products. In fact, a lot of technology can make a difference in understanding some of this, to how customers look at the proposition, right? The packaging of the proposition, also communicating the importance of sustainability in everything that you do, looking at all the energy consumption that you have, the water resources that you use. All of this has an impact in terms of how sustainable the business is, and this definitely makes a difference to the next gen and their consumption, right? And it's only going to intensify as we go forward.
Thank you, Anand. It was lovely chatting with you.
Thank you, Ritwika. Thank you for having me.
It's time for a quick break. Here, we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC FIRST Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11, and right now we're in conversation with Livpure. Hi Rakesh, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you Ritwika. Thanks for having me.
So Livpure has emerged as a prominent player in the water purification industry. In fact, you announced a 50% year-on-year growth for FY23. What factors do you believe are contributing to this growth and differentiation in the market?
Right, Ritwika. So Livpure has been around in the water purification market now for nearly a decade, and we built this brand essentially on three founding pillars, one of which is product innovation and quality and deep manufacturing vertical integration. Second one is a well laid out service network across the entire country, and the third piece is our omni-channel and product as a service strategy, which is the digital enablement of this business. And now we are seeing the fruits of the enablement that we did in terms of the whole framework in the growth that we are experiencing. So last year we have experienced a 50% growth, and we see something similar happening in terms of the similar range of growth for the next many years to come now, and that will definitely catapult Livpure into being a consumer preferred brand for wellness and comfort.
Rakesh, Livpure has established a strong presence in both online and offline retail channels. How do you navigate the challenges and opportunities presented by the retail landscape, and what strategies have you implemented to effectively enhance retail presence?
It's now consumers are increasingly demanding an experience which is seamless across multiple channels of go-to-market. So whether a consumer wants to see a product online and then maybe experience it offline in a retail channel, or will go to a Reliance or a Chroma store to buy it, or the other way around, consumers want to choose where they want to experience the product, where they want to discover a product, or where they want to buy a product. So I don't think brands have any choice really but to have a comprehensive experience for consumers across multiple channels, whether they are digital or whether they are the retail channels. And as Livpure, we have had an omni-channel strategy for the last 6 to 7 years, and we have one brick at a time built our enablers on each of those different channels, and we are bringing it all together through our digital presence in terms of a seamless experience to consumers. A lot has been done. There is still work to be done, and will continuously improve and increase effectiveness for consumers as they evolve, as their experiences evolve, as their expectations evolve.
So Rakesh, Livpure has expanded its product portfolio beyond water purifiers. In 2021, you ventured into the sleep and wellness vertical comprising mattresses, pillows, bed sheets and curtains, and now you're also getting into kitchen chimneys. Tell us more about this and what's driving this diversification.
So Livpure started out with the water purifier business, and we started by selling products to consumers and then providing them after sales service. Then somewhere in 2017, 2018, we invested in building a very deep technology capability around a smart homes enablement platform that we built over a 3-year period. That technology platform now enables Livpure to come out with smart appliances and differentiated business models for consumers in multiple categories. We brought this smart home capability and the water purification capability of Livpure together and started water as a service business back in 2018, and today, you know, we are clearly the market leader in that segment of converting, you know, the water purification, water consumption from bottled water to water purifier at your home, which is running like a service. And this has proved to be very preferred way of water consumption by a lot of young people mostly. We are seeing more than doubling of the paying customers every year, even in the 7 or 8 cities where we are largely present today. Now we are expanding that service outside the top cities into many other tier 2 towns as well. So on water purification as a service, we innovated a new business model, and now it has become a fairly significant part of our revenue stream. Almost 30% of our water purification revenue now comes through product as a service model. We have also added adjacent categories. So smart air cons is another category. Now we are entering, the kitchen appliances segment, mainly with kitchen chimneys and air purification in the kitchen, because that's a place where housewives, who are our core customer base, spend a lot of their time. And the water purifier sits also in the kitchen, and we have a natural place as a brand in the kitchen, and we are now starting to get ready very soon for a launch. You will see that happen on the online platforms in the coming quarter itself.
As a leading name in the industry, what do you believe are the big ideas or the trends that will impact the smart home business, and also how is Livpure preparing to address them?
So one big trend is consumers are increasingly looking for sustainability, reuse, product as a service rather than product as a product. But we see that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, sustainability will become at the front and center of a brand's choice by consumers. Our strategy has been to build a good core technology platform around IoT, smart devices, and artificial intelligence and cloud technologies brought together in a way that we own the platform, and hence at a very optimal cost points, we can create connected home appliances that we can then manage for improving energy efficiency, for reducing the footprint, for making sure that we can create models where consumer who doesn't need to own a product can use it as a service.
Well, it was great chatting with you, Rakesh. Thank you so much for being with us on the show today.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you and goodbye.